Okay, so I've played pretty much every class in Legion at this point, whether it's been in a video or not in a video, off camera, whatever, and I feel like the Demonology Warlock is actually the most underrated because I've been able to do damage equivalent or better than a Demon Hunter can right now, and I feel like Demon Hunters, up until this point where I started playing this class, were like unstoppable. Like they were just killing everything. I would destroy people in matters of seconds. But as this class, I feel that at the end of arenas, when I'm doing more damage than every other person in the arena combined can do, then like I'm really like pretty amazed of how much this class can really put out. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about the damage in this class, a little bit about the mobility of it, and also a little bit of the defensives involved as well. Now, there's a lot to this class. This is easily one of the most complex classes that I've played in Legion or in general, and I feel like this video in just a short little span is not going to do it justice, so I apologize if I miss a couple mechanics that you hardcore Demo Warlocks play and also understand. I understand it, I just haven't quite got the time today to explain everything. So now there's a couple resources that you're going to have to manage, and that is going to be the soul shards, which are really important because soul shards are going to allow you to summon all these different types of demons, whether they be the Dreadstalkers or the Wild Imps or the Call Your Own Fell Lord. These three things are going to be the main reason why you're going to use those soul shards and want to be generating so much at so many different times. So there's three spells that will generate these soul shards for you, and also a passive talent, which I'll get into in a second. One is Doom. Doom is an ability where after 18 seconds, it's going to do a pretty substantial amount of damage, upwards of 170k on the tooltip, but I've seen it hit for upwards of 300,000. And it does it after 18 seconds, and also when it does that damage, it's going to generate one soul shard, okay? So you have to time it in a way that makes it so those soul shards, when they do generate off of doing damage 18 seconds ahead of time, you're going to actually benefit from that as opposed to being at 5 soul shards and not getting any use of that. And then obviously there's the Shadow Bolt. Every time you cast the Shadow Bolt, it's pretty much equivalent to like Frostbolt without the slow, but every time you cast the Shadow Bolt, you're going to generate one soul shard. And then there's also the talent Shadow Flame, which I take because it's an instant cast on demand with 2 charges spell that generates one soul shard per use. So that's how you're going to generate these soul shards, and you're going to want to spend them. Let me explain the spec that I'm playing, because there's 2 different specs that I'm playing, or 2 different specs that are available to Demo Warlocks from what I've seen on the beta. The first one is going to be the Implosion spec, and that's what I'm playing, is because Implosion's all about getting in a huge amount of imps on the field, and then using your Implosion ability, which does damage based on how many imps you have out. So you're able to have up to 10 imps, and I will get into that in just a moment, but if you have 10 imps out, use Implosion, all imps will fire at the target, doing an AoE amount of damage, and it will do literally 10 times the damage, of like 10 times 45,000, which is 450,000, right? So it does a lot of damage. And I'm also playing Soul Harvest for the damage, obviously, and then Grimoire of Synergy because it has a chance to empower my demons to do increased damage, which can be very useful as a Demonology Warlock, obviously. And Soul Conduit because I feel like having Soul Shards in general is really, really strong and can empower you to do even more damage than you already expect to do. So if Soul Conduit procs and you get these Soul Shards in refund, you can maybe, like, as a skilled Demonology Warlock player, understand that you can be a little bit greedy with the amount of time that you have left in order to cast another spell that might give you an extra amount of damage. Okay, so this is my talents anyways, and then here's my PvP talents. I'm playing mostly a PvP talent in a scenario that I would be playing against a melee, but if I were to play against casters, then I would probably be playing like Curse of Tongues and either Master Summoner or Call Observer, depending on who I'm playing against. Maybe even Netherward, it depends really, it just depends overall. Call Fell Hunter, so this is really cool. Demonology Warlocks in the past really never had an opportunity to use the Fell Hunter interrupt because of, they'd have to have their Fell Guard out, right? So, because this is like the main demo pet, but in Legion, you actually get a chance to use the Fell Hunter. You actually have a counter spell, so I can just use this ability on this hunter. It's not going to do anything to him because it doesn't cast, but I can actually just like spell lock him, right? Which is cool. So it actually gives me an opportunity to have that interrupt even though I don't have a Fell Hunter out, and I think that's really cool. Okay, so now that you guys have understand like what spec I'm doing with this implosion spec, my goal is really to get out as many imps as possible, right? So I want to get as many imps as possible onto the field, and that is going to be possible through the Hand of Gul'dan spell. And Hand of Gul'dan is a spell that it will consume 1 to 4 soul shards, and based on how many soul shards you consume, you will get up to 4 imps. Okay, so every time you cast this, you'll get up to 4 imps. And the game is that these imps only last for 12 seconds. So you want to find a way to generate so many soul shards to a point where you can generate 10 of those imps in under 12 seconds and then use your implosion, and also have them empowered, and also use your artifact ability that drains life from all of your demon servants. So, and then like unleashes a big amount of damage in that, once you cast that ability, right? So if you have 10 imps down and you can somehow manage to get those dreadstalkers down, and you can have them all empowered with this ability right here, which is a 1.3 second cast, increasing health and haste by 50% or 56% of all your demons. If you could somehow manage to make all of those things happen and all of those things align, and then use your artifact ability with your soul harvest, which increases damage by 20%, use your artifact ability and use implosion before the Hand of Gul'dan imps run out, then you're going to kill somebody. Okay. The thing is that that's a really hard thing to make happen, and I think that that is very cool in Legion, and it's taken me quite a while to release this video because it has taken me a while to learn this class. This is a class that demands a lot of understanding of the game, a lot of understanding of timing, and just overall like knowledge of how your class is looking in a very split-second manner, so you're able to make decisions based on what you do, or based on like what buffs you have, how many imps you have up, how many seconds on your first wave of imps are left, if your artifact ability is ready to go, if you have them empowered, what the rotation looks like. And honestly, like, let's go ahead and do a quick like rundown of what the damage is going to look like. But pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to doom first, so the timer starts ticking down for that 18-second soul shard generation and damage. Then I'm going to build up to 5 soul shards. Okay, so 5 soul shards. It's going to allow me to cast that first Hand of Gul'dan, and that's when the timer starts ticking, that 12-second timer. So after that, what we're going to do is cast 2 Shadow Flames, which are instant cast and generates a soul shard, and at that point I should have 4 more soul shards ready to go. And whether or not Soul Conduit procs, I'll be able to cast a Hand of Gul'dan or call Dreadstalkers, and then after I have all of those demons out, I'm going to empower them, cast Soul Harvest, cast my Consumption ability, and then hit my implosion right after that, since they're instant. And at that point, when I'm hitting that implosion, I'm probably going to have about 1 second left on that first wave of imps. So we're going to give this a shot. So as you can see, I'm going to put Doom up. I'm not going to put my pet on him because the pet will probably kill him faster than I want him to for the sake of the video, right? So what we're going to do is get to 5 soul shards, okay? All right, so we've got 5. We're going to cast Hand of Gul'dan and then 2 Shadow Flames. Okay, all right, so we almost have our fourth soul shard. Okay, then we got another proc there, so what we're going to do is cast our Consumption and our Implosion and just kill this guy. Like, it's pretty crazy. So let me look at the combat log and show you just how much damage this did. Alright, so Implosion hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 10 times. Yeah, there's the 10th one right there. And so that means that not only did I did around 700,000 damage, since one of them crit and the others all hit. I did about 700,000 damage just with Implosion, which does count as AoE. So if there's melee in the vicinity of the Implosion target, they'll also take that damage. But the Consumption ability did about 240,000 damage, and I feel like that consumption is pretty low. I've hit upwards of 600k. It's really pretty crazy overall how much damage you can do. Because as you can see, like here, it took all those consumptions and hit it with all my pets, right? So it didn't actually take away from my regular Felguard pet, and then I didn't have Dreadstalkers out, which really does influence that. But one thing I wanted to touch on before we jump into the arenas is actually the Call Fel Lord, because it's a PvP talent. It's on a 1.5 minute cooldown, and against melee, it's extremely strong. So you put it on the ground, and it's this big demon that swings at people and does upwards of 300 to 600,000 damage based on how much, just like if it crits or not. And see, like 429,000, but in arena I've seen it hit for 600,000. So and it kills people. So if you put this on melee, if your healer's being trained or you're being trained, you just put this down on a target or on multiple targets, and they just stand in it. Like, those melee are going to be stunned and also deal a crazy amount of damage, okay? Now, real quick, before we get into the arenas, I do want to touch on a little bit of the mobility and the defensives. There really isn't a whole lot of mobility since you play with Dark Pact as a Demo Warlock, because it's really, really strong when you have all those demons up and you get a huge shield. You really don't play with Demonic Circles, so you don't have a whole lot of mobility, and that's kind of the weak point of this class. But in terms of survivability, if I do have a bunch of demons out, your Dark Pact actually does scale off of that. So if I have 10 demons out and I get 20% of each one of those demons' health, obviously it's going to, you know, stack into a huge shield, which is pretty crazy. This class overall like has so much potential, and it's so underrated because no one plays it. Everyone's just playing Affliction Warlock if they're going to play Warlock, and I think that Demo Warlock has the opportunity to be really good, especially since they're casting. Having casting circle down is really important. It gives you that immunity to just cast freely whenever you need to, right? And I think that that's really important. So what we're going to do, guys, is actually jump into the arenas and talk, or not talk, just let you guys look into the PvP of Demo Warlock itself, and then I will see you after those arena clips.
getting shorter, lack of energy I'll conquer. In my soul, this is real. These nights are getting shorter. In my soul, this is real.
Alright guys, that does sum it up for today. I hope you did enjoy, and thank you so much for hitting the 1,500 likes for my birthday yesterday on my previous video. I really appreciate you all for doing that. That was very kind of you. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already to see future videos of mine. And, you know, whatever. Thanks guys. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cartoons out.